I was talking to somebody here, someone who would, I mentioned earlier, who, as soon as I ordered my coffee, she said, Dennis Prager listened to your show here in the Twin Cities every day. And we got to talking, and I said, so who are you going to vote for? She said she wants Santorum. I said, he's a wonderful man. I know him well, and it's certainly a decision I respect. And then I said, well, what if he's not the nominee? And Romney is, would you support him? And she said, yes. So I said, are you an evangelical Christian? And she said, yes. And it's tough for a lot of evangelicals to vote for a Mormon. It is going to be an issue that I am going to talk about regularly, because I understand the evangelical feeling on this matter. And if I've never explained, I think I have explained it on the air once, but I don't expect people to remember it. There is an analogy. To give you an idea, I don't agree at all not voting for a person based on theology. Not at all. Values are everything to me. Values, values, values. If somebody were an atheist and had my values and understood how important God is to the country, even though they personally couldn't believe in God, I would vote for the person in a nanosecond, sooner than somebody of my own religion or ethnicity who didn't believe in the American Trinity and God we trust, e pluribus unum, and liberty. So I've made that case often, and I will make it again, often. But I do understand the issue. And the issue, and I'm not saying I agree, I say I understand. And I understand it, and Christians will find this particularly interesting because it's a sort of shoe on the other foot thing. Jews have an analogous feeling about a group that is analogous to the way evangelicals feel about Mormons. I'm getting quizzical looks, and the answer is Jews for Jesus. And I'll tell you exactly why, and this gives you an idea of how I do understand the evangelicals. The evangelical argument is not Mormons are bad. I never heard that statement, and they don't believe it. Everybody knows that by and large Mormons are actually particularly decent, have wonderful family lives, by and large have great integrity in business dealings. I mean, they have a very good reputation, Mormons in America, whatever you're feeling about theology is. So the argument evangelicals have with Mormons is, please don't call yourselves Christian. We don't care that you don't believe what we believe. We care that you call yourselves Christian. That's the Jews' argument with Jews for Jesus. Don't call yourself Jewish. If you believe in Christ, you're a Christian, and say it. So I'm explaining here that I can understand the emotional issue that an evangelical has vis-a-vis Mormonism. I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying I understand. And therefore, but now that you know that I do understand, maybe I have more credibility in saying it still shouldn't matter. You can continue your theological fight. It's a free country. You can argue all you wish. If you believe that Mormonism isn't Christian, then by golly, you have a perfect right to say that. And nobody can call you a bigot. You're a bigot, though, if you don't vote for a Mormon. That's bigoted. Not if you have big theological problems with it. So, but it just helps people understand what bothers people is not that you have different beliefs, it's that you have different beliefs and call yourself the same name as they have. To which, of course, Mormons have a response. Hey, the name of our very church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Church of Jesus Christ. I mean, if that's not Christian, what's Christian? But then the evangelical will come or say, well, wait a minute, but you have all these added beliefs. And I'm not getting into that because I never get into theological debates. Faith is faith. I never argue faith. I argue reason, I argue morality, I argue values, but I never, ever argue faith. There's nothing to argue about. All right, that was an important thing to be said, that there is, from my perspective, an understanding about how everybody feels on this issue. But you see, this is where you have to have what I call a hierarchy of concerns in life. My biggest concern is that the United States continue to be the moral leader of the planet Earth. My biggest concern is that the President of the United States, the person who's elected to it, be the best person with the best values.